Harley Davidson says it will move some of its production out of the United States. The company says the move is to avoid counter tariffs on U.S. goods from European Union countries. The news caused the Dow to drop more than 300 points over concerns of a trade war. Here's Paula Reed.
Whether it's so many different things like trade, we're taking care of a lot of problems that should have been taken care of over the years.
President Trump today blamed past U.S. leaders for the simmering conflict over trade, and in a tweet urged Harley Davidson to be patient, saying ultimately they will not pay tariffs selling into the EU. But the company's shift overseas is a consequence of the Trump administration's tariffs on European steel and aluminum. In response, the EU applied import duties of 25% on a range of products, including Harleys. In an SEC filing, the company said the EU tariffs will result in an additional cost of $2,200 per motorcycle exported from the U.S. to the EU. And Mid-Continental Steel and Wire in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, the largest nail manufacturer in the U.S., just laid off dozens of workers. Operations General Manager Chris Pratt says the company lost business from increased steel costs.
The imposition of these tariffs on June 1st on our raw materials has actually put our operations into a crisis mode.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders blames the EU for those lost American jobs.
They have engaged repeatedly in unfair trade practices, and the president is saying enough is enough.
Paula Reed joins me now from the White House. So, Paula, how is the White House responding to Harley Davidson's plans to shift some production outside the U.S.?
Well, as you saw in the package, the president has tweeted on this issue. He accused Harley Davidson of, quote, waving the white flag of surrender, and he urged them to be patient. He said, look, what he's doing, it's a long-term strategy, and he said they need to wait longer, and that ultimately he doesn't believe they will actually have to pay any tariffs based on what the European Union has done. So it's an interesting strategy. This is a company that has really symbolized a lot of his work on trade. He had them there here at the White House not that long ago, where he was talking about why he was doing what he was doing on steel and aluminum, and a lot of it was for, in his words, for iconic companies like Harley Davidson. So today's news, it really does raise questions about whether this America First policy is actually making it harder to manufacture goods here in the U.S., even if those people who sort of mine and make the materials are benefiting.
Well, Harley Davidson is based in Wisconsin, and House Speaker Paul Ryan represents the state. How is he reacting to this announcement?
That's right. While the White House has tried to just blame the EU, a lot of the opposition is coming from the president's own party, including, as you noted, House Speaker Paul Ryan. He's saying that, look, this is to be expected when you put these kind of unilateral tariffs out there. And also the governor of Wisconsin, Republican Scott Walker, he's come out and he said, look, the goal should be no tariffs on anyone. So you've seen consistently across the Republican Party a lot of prominent politicians coming out and speaking against this. And on Face the Nation, just yesterday, Senator Corker told our colleague Margaret Brennan that he believes it's sort of this has been simmering for a while, and this could come to a head with what he describes as a possible jailbreak among Republicans who may actually move to try to legislate to limit the president's power to implement these kinds of tariffs, because many of them just completely disagree with his approach and think that he's abusing his power under the guise of national security, that he is having an adverse impact on the economy, particularly manufacturers.
Well, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Trump administration is planning to limit Chinese involvement in American technology companies. What is this in response to?
That's right. So this is in addition to some tariffs and sort of escalating trade tensions between the U.S. and China. This is expected later this week that the U.S. will move to try to limit Chinese investment in certain technologies. Now, under the rules, it is expected that any company that is more than 25% owned by China, that they could be restricted from investing in certain key technologies here in the U.S. This would include aerospace, robotics, and automotive sectors. Now, this is in response to some concerns by the administration about Beijing's efforts to ramp up its technology and complaints from a lot of companies here in the U.S. that China just steals our intellectual property, our ideas, and doesn't give us credit or profit for them. And this is one way the administration wants to sort of guard against this. But some people are concerned that a move like this could have an even more significant impact on the economy than tariffs.
All right, Paula Reed at the White House. Paula, thank you.